Well, good morning. I'm out this morning on the very latest 2020 Suzuki V-Strom 1050 XC. That's a bit of a mouthful, not? But yeah, so we're going to take it for a bit of a run in the country and see what it's like. This is fits probably in the middle, of the big adventure bike market, certainly price-wise. In Australia at the moment it's about 21 grand on the road right away, and you've got the top end bikes, the BMWs, the big KTMs and the Ducati Multistrada, all around that 30 grand price point. And then you come back, and this is a pretty busy marketplace and pretty popular for good reason. You look at it and it's a nice thing. So yeah, we'll give it a bit of a run, and it's kind of where the big adventure bikes belong. It's an interesting market that has become really popular. So Suzuki, this is their updated V-Strom, and I've got to say, I've been riding it now for a couple of hours. It is a really nice bike. One of the things about it, it feels like a lot smaller than a 1000cc or 1050 adventure bike. It handles really neutral, really nice, and it's quite slim. I'm normally riding some of the big KTMs or BMWs, and they can feel like a big bike when you get on them. This thing feels small. It's very low to the ground. So I'm 5'10" or 177 centimeters, and I'm stopping both feet dead flat. So a really easy bike for someone who's not the tallest person in the world to have a ride on. Now Suzuki have pitched this bike pretty much at probably the right point. It's the soft adventure touring market, where it's not a hardcore bike like a KTM 790 or a T7 Yamaha, but it's a competent, capable bike that'll do a bit of gravel work, and it'll certainly eat the miles in bitumen. So if you're the guy that does a lot of bitumen cruising, travelling, maybe commute on it, and then occasionally like to get out in the country and do some gravel roads and go a bit of exploring, this could be just about the right thing for you. So no, really good. I love the seating position's comfy, the seat's comfy, really nice. If you can see it, the dash is pretty clear and easy to read. I think feature-wise, it's got cornering ABS. I think it's got some functions where it can detect the amount of load. The suspension is fully adjustable front and rear, so that's a good thing. So you really, and I've got to say, the suspension's really nice. This is just a pretty ordinary little country road, plenty of bumps and that, but it smooths them right out. Does a good job. Power delivery, fifth gear, put your foot down, it just pulls. The power delivery is pretty neutral the whole way, so from right off the bottom, it pulls nice and evenly. Doesn't really have a screaming top end or anything. That V-twin just makes really great mid-range and holds it the whole way through. So it's an easy bike to ride, but it's a fun bike, and it's a Suzuki. The thing will be run forever. The build quality is normally excellent on them. A couple of nice features they've added on this model the old one didn't have. It's now got cruise control, which if you think about these bikes, if the people use them for what they're intended, churning the miles over out in the country somewhere, then that's a pretty handy feature. I really enjoy that when I get out and do long days, that you can just relax, and and this one works exceptionally well, by the way. It's super accurate. You set it on a speed and it holds that speed the whole time. So now look, all in all, I've been really impressed with it. It's a really flickable, nice bike to handle. Power delivery is good, gearbox is good. Wouldn't mind a quick shifter on it, which it doesn't have. Don't know if that's an option or not, to check that out. But it's got 3 different engine modes, a couple of ABS modes, 2 traction control, sorry. So you can pretty much set it up if it's wet weather and rainy. Put it on the softest engine mapping, lots of ABS, lots of traction control if you want the help, or turn it all off So if you're out in the gravel, then you know you can have a bit of fun. This is the XT model, which is the more off-road model, spoked rims, yeah, a few nice little crash bar features. Now let's have a good look. It's a good looking bike. 3 colours comes in this, the yellow and blue, which is pretty out there, very sort of 80s 90s. They've got a white and red that I think looks fantastic, and then an all black. So but it's a pretty cool looking bike, and certainly a big update on the old one. So yeah, fully adjustable KYB suspension, and they've done a really good job. Might be a bit hard to see, but you know, big handle. They made it really simple, soft, hard, you know, just sensible sort of adjustments. You know, and again up front, you know, you've got both forks there, just, you know, easy to get your screwdriver, adjust them, get what you want, if you can just see that. And as I say, the dash is pretty legible, easy to read. That's in full sun at the moment. So, you know, all in all, nice. They've got an adjustable windscreen on it, which I rode with it down for a while. It's pretty buffety, put it up, and it made a huge difference. So for a long trip, that's going to be pretty pleasant. And all over, ergonomics on it, really comfortable straight out of the box. It's a very upright, relaxed position, and easy for me to stand with my feet flat on the ground. So it's really comfy. You know, a little bit of tweaking, I think, on the suspension, but I think it's almost spot on for me. I might make it a fraction softer, but that would be about it. It has got a few little quirk things. The cruise control, when it's on, you can't scroll through the trip meter, you can't change modes. As soon as you do any of that, it just cancels the cruise out. So I'm presuming they've done that being overly safety conscious or something, but you know, that's a small price to pay. The other thing is these bark busters, if you can see that, they're pretty crap quality. You know, they're good at deflecting the wind, and that's about it. But as I say, you get into corners where you want to have a play, lean it in, and it just tracks so nicely. You know, like that, tightens. It's really easy to pick your lines. And braking wise, you know, if you stand on it, that pulls up in a hurry. So no, it really doesn't ride like a 1050cc bike. It rides much more like a 700 or 800. That's what it feels like. Very easy to flick the thing around. So, you know, if it's a bike that you're you know, trekking through the bush like this, it's really easy to handle it. You know, even in some of this a little bit softer white sand, you know, it just cruises through. So that the turning on it, you know, not a hard bike to handle, and it does all right, you know, without playing too much. But it's light enough, you know, you want to turn it, transition it. It's pretty good at it. The seat's good, the leg position's good, don't feel cramped, feel very upright. So and you get on this sort of stuff, it's just fun to, you know, squirt along. Got plenty of get up and go, and you know, even at a decent speed, the wind buffeting's good. And it's quite an easy bike mid-corner. You know, you want to tighten up a bit, it's easier to flick it and do that. It just really holds a line. So you get in here, you're holding that, it's just perfect. You know, the balance on it's really nice. Yeah, you got to say, you know, where they've pitched this bike, if you're the guy that wants to go out and ride a lot of miles, and you do a little bit of dirt work, some gravel roads, you know, not really into single tracking or doing any of that, this is a bike that can kind of do it all. And you know, price wise, it's 21 grand right away. It's not cheap, but then you look at some of the other big bikes, it's certainly about on the money.